Hi guys, welcome back. So today I have a video for you all on my favorite brushes and brushes that I use every single day or almost every day. So if you would like to see what the brushes are that I use every day and ones that I find to be most important, then just keep watching. Alright, so I'm going to kind of go in order and I'm going to start with face. There are two face brushes that I love to apply my foundation. And just a forewarning, I have mostly all Sigma and Morphe brushes just because I find that those are the best. I do have a few other brands, but majority of them are Sigma and Morphe. And just to throw it out there now, I do have a coupon code for Sigma and for Morphe brushes, and both of them are both code Courtney. So if you go to Sigma and you buy brushes or buy anything from Sigma, you just use code Courtney and you get money off, and then same for Morphe, it is the code Courtney as well. So use my codes, get money off, everyone loves to save money. Alright, moving on. So the first brush that I love to apply my foundation with is the Sigma F80 Kabuki brush. It is just a flat brush and it is nicely dense, so when you put it into your skin it doesn't So I love this brush for foundation because it is nice and flat and it really does a great job when you just want to buff it into the skin. And then the one I love from Morphe is the Morphe M439. This one is more dome shaped, but it is nice and dense as well. And I like to do the exact same thing with this one and just nicely blend it in. I like how they are nice and tightly packed so they're not all flimsy, and these are my two favorite foundation brushes. Alright, moving on to blush brushes. I have two favorites as well, and they both happen to be angled brushes. This first one is the Morphe E4. I think this is my all-time favorite blush brush. I'm not sure if these are sold out because I know they were having their big 40% off sale because they were getting more gunmetal brushes, but this is an amazing blush brush. I love how it's at an angle and it just perfectly cups your cheek to give you the most flawless application. And then Sigma has something very similar, and this is the Sigma F40, which is an angled brush as well, and this one is goat hair, so it is a little softer and a little bit more flimsy, but does an amazing job applying blush as well. So for bronzer brushes, since I love bronzer, I do have four favorites. The first one that I'm sure everyone knows about because I talk about it all the time is the Sigma F23. This is such an amazing brush. If you have not gotten your hands on it yet, you definitely need to go pick it up. It is so incredibly soft and it has a nice angle so you can get in there to contour if you're not looking for a super precise line for contour, but it's also so fluffy that you can turn it to the side and just do an amazing job bronzing. So I love that it's so versatile, so you can do it at the side and bronze, or you can contour from the edge, and I'm obsessed with this brush. I love it. So the next bronzer brush I'm going to talk about is from Sigma, and this is the F10 brush. It says that it is the powder blush brush, but I love using this for bronzer when I just want a really light application of bronzer, and I'll just go around in circular motions and kind of go like this down my face. I just like it because it is nice and round and it's really, really soft like all of the brushes are, so I'm probably going to say that for every single one. But I just love the size of it and it just does a really good job applying the bronzer nice and seamlessly. Alright, two other options I have are the Morphe E34. I really like this one for bronzing when I really want to get in there and make sure I really pack on the bronzer. It is more of a dense brush, so I like to put it in my product and then kind of dab it along my head. And once I have all of the product mostly there, then I'll go in and I will kind of buff it away. This one is an amazing bronzer brush. I love this one as well. This is the one that most people ask about when I'm doing my bronzer in my videos. I'm usually using this one because it's always sitting right in front of me. But yeah, this is the Morphe E34. Alright, so this one you've actually never seen me use in my videos because this one is always sitting on my desk for my everyday makeup when I'm not filming. And this one is a Firma Beauty brush. This is the 102. I love this one because it is on the smaller side for bronzer. So if you want to get a really precise application, this one does a really good job. And it's kind of tapered, as you can see, so you can really decide where you want that bronzer. So usually I'm just kind of throwing it everywhere because I want to be bronzed everywhere. But if I'm looking for a more precise application, I always reach for this one just because of its dome shaped and it's great. Alright, so contouring brushes. There are two contouring brushes that I am going to talk about. The first one is the Sigma F77 brush. I usually use this for my nose contour. It just does such an amazing job making a super straight line, because sometimes when you nose contour, if you make your line crooked, makes your whole nose look crooked. I love using this because it just is foolproof for making a straight line because it's such a straight and dense brush. And I also love doing it for my contour and then flicking the product up, and it just does a really great job. Another Another brush that I really love for contouring is the Luxie 512 Small Contouring Brush. So it is just a very small, kind of not too dense brush, and it just does a really great job of getting into the hollows of those cheeks without being too precise, because I know a lot of people don't like that really sharp, harsh contour, so this is really great for making a contour but not having it be too sharp. Alright, so moving on to favorite eye brushes, I'm going to start out with my Sigma ones. So there are 3 of my favorite Sigma eye brushes. The first one is the E40 blending brush. If you don't have this, you need it. This is a staple for any person that's trying to do makeup. This is the blending brush that I always use for like my transition shades, always. I always use this brush. So it's just so big and so fluffy that it does an amazing job diffusing out the transition color to make sure it is a flawless application. This, once again, is the E40 brush. Sorry if you can hear cars driving by, my window's open, it's hot. Alright, the next Sigma brush that I use literally every time I do my makeup is the Sigma E25 blending brush. It is more of a tapered top, and it is smaller than the E40, and I use this for my crease work. It does a really good job getting right into that crease like this, and then I will turn my brush sideways to kind of blend it out into that transition shade. So these two together are 100% necessary if you are trying to have a great makeup application. Alright, and my last Sigma brush that I love is the E45. So it is a extremely tapered top, and I love using this if I really need to get into that crease area because it is so tapered, or sometimes I will use it for my lower lash line. Alright, and then an eye blending brush that I love from Morphe is the Morphe M513. It is a little dome shaped, but it is a larger brush. So once again, this would be used for like blending out between the crease and the transition color. So if you don't want to blend with the same brush that you put the transition color in with, I would use this color, the M513, because it is a little bit bigger and it's very fluffy, and it just does a really good job of like blending out between the crease and the transition shade. Another Morphe brush that I love is the M514. This is quite a bit smaller. It kind of reminds me of the Sigma one, the E45, except this one is way more tapered. This one is a little bit bigger at the tip, but it's nice and small. So this one I like to get like really into my crease. As you can see, like it really gets in there. It is so small that it can really get into those places that like maybe the Sigma E25 brush can't get into. Alright, and then 2 more blending brushes that are also very great are from Luxie Beauty. Luxie Beauty has really great brushes. These are the 231 and the 235. They are once again just small little dome shaped blending brushes, but they are extremely soft, and they once again do a great job at blending out the crease. All of these brushes that I just mentioned are like my go-to brushes that I basically use every day. Not all of them every day. They're all so fluffy, and if you are trying to blend out something, you don't want to blend it out with something that's already been on the brush. You usually want like a clean blending brush or something, so these are the ones I always reach for. Alright, next up I have an under eye setting brush that I only have one that I ever use, and it is the Sigma F35. I talk about this and use this in every single one of my tutorials, and for good reason. It is absolutely amazing. It has a nice tapered top, so it fits perfectly into this inner corner when you want to set your concealer, and it just fits so nicely around the eye because it is tapered. I recommend this. If you are to get one brush out of all the ones I recommend, I probably recommend this one just because setting your under eye concealer is so insanely important, and this, I have never had a brush that does such a great job as this one. Alright, next there are 2 brushes that I like to blend out my concealer with, the Morphe E45 and the Morphe E8. So as you can see, they are both very similar. They are actually almost identical, except this one is a little bit smaller, and then this one is obviously a little bit bigger. I use this for like my paint pots a lot too, to like put my paint pot on my eye, and then I'll use this brush to set it with powder. I love using both of these to do that just because they are so dense that when I use it to apply my paint pot, and it's so big, I don't need to sit there for like 5 minutes like trying to blend out my paint pot. Like I just like basically do like this, and then like I'm done, and then I'll get my powder with this bigger brush, and I'll like do like 2 pats, and then it's basically set. So I love these for doing any type of eye priming. Alright, I have 2 brushes left that I absolutely love, and these brushes are for highlighting. Usually I always use my F03 in my videos just because it's always sitting in front of me. This is the Sigma F03. This is an amazing highlighter brush. It is nice and soft, but it has a lot of bristles in it. I love it because it's not very flimsy, so wherever you're going to put your brush, that is where the highlighter is going. Another one that I love is the Morphe M10 brush. It is a little bit more flimsy, but it applies it a little bit more diffused just because it is goat hair and just because it is a little more flimsy. If you want a very nice stark highlight with like lots of pigmentation, I would say go for the Sigma F03 just because it is nice and dense, so it really applies it. If you want it more diffused and more like kind of there and just like a nice light wash of highlight, I would say go for the Morphe M10 because it just lightly diffuses the highlight. Alright guys, I think that is all of my favorite brushes. I tried to do one of like each category. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I would be happy to answer for you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!